Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Gemini. So Gemini, as usual, I'm doing your reading today with my own tarot deck, so the cards that you'll see are from this deck. Gemini, I know that you are an air sign, and it's very easy for you to get up in your head, but your message today is all about getting down to earth. And I feel like maybe there is somebody in your life, maybe a parent, maybe a boss, maybe a friend, but somebody that is quite grounded and is trying to bring you down to earth with them, or is trying to give you some advice or guide you in some way that is, it's not patronizing and it's not imposing anything. It's actually explaining to you how things work here in this dimension, in this 3D plane. The reason why I'm saying that is because we're beginning a reading with the King of Pentacles, and this is this person that is here to help ground you, right? Because they are the King of Earth, it's like they have mastered that. They have really conquered that, you know, the strategies or the way to do so, to find this groundedness. And so this card came with a message to you. Actually, it's almost like an invitation, right? But not an invitation. It's an invitation in the sense that is made in a way that feels like you are participating in it, like you have free will to choose, right? But it really has this tone of you have to do this, right? Or this is good for you. Because the message that came from this King of Pentacles to you, Gemini, today was, let's get down to earth. So your response actually is coming from this Knight of Cups here, saying, but all I want to do is just let my heart guide me and let my heart fly. So there is something about the way that you are interpreting this invitation to find your grounds, or to establish some roots, or to, you know, maybe manage your life in a more practical sense, or manage your money, manage your work, manage something that is very day-to-day based, right? So with the Knight of Cups here, it's almost like maybe you're taking it too personally, you're taking too hard. But the thing is, you don't want your heart to be threatened, or to be spoiled, or what is the word? It's not spoiled, it's almost like interfered or influenced by something so surface, or so, oh, I'm struggling with words. And maybe you are too, and you're a Gemini, right? You are so good with words. But maybe the way that this king is bringing this invitation to get down to earth and ground yourself feels like you are escaping your heart guidance, or like being rerouted from where your heart has been showing you the way. So there is a little bit of tension here, right? Because, you know, if there is some sort of hierarchy here, you know, obviously the king has a higher position. It's just that maybe they have more funds, or maybe they have more resources, or just more experience, at least in this earthly realm, right? But it's almost like you want to protect your heart's freedom in a sense. And the response that comes from this King of Pentacles, is the Seven of Pentacles. So this Seven of Pentacles was showing me like a very stable, solid foundation, right? And I know that the Four of Pentacles usually gives me that vibe of, you know, very firm and solid grounds. But actually, because it's coming from the King of Pentacles, it's like they want to make sure that you understand that getting down to earth, yes, is putting in some work and nourishing it, but it's also about, like, because what I'm seeing with the Seven of Pentacles, it's like it's like uh, gathering the resources in order to grow, right? So there is something about this movement of, you know, collecting things, but things that are going to be the building blocks. Does it make sense? And I feel like because this Seven of Pentacles is coming with the Judgment card, this card, it's actually, you know, the tools, but more than that, it's like the message that came from this card was, it is what it is. And I feel like this is what this guy here is saying to you, Gemini. The nature of this dimension, right? The nature of this physical realm, this earthly bound realm, it requires gathering to build things and to grow from there. There is no way, in a sense, of building something without the resources and without the tools. It is what it is. It's almost like get used to it, because it is what it is, Gemini. And I feel like even though it is, you know, it can be a little bit frustrating, even though, like, to a person like you that feels like a very free spirit, but also like a very determined person to follow your own heart's guidance, right? It's almost like you are so intuitive, Gemini, that you have never doubted your heart. So whenever somebody says to you, like, you have to, you know, just manage your life in a daily basis that is more structured, or that, you know, you get a hold of your finances, of, you know, your incomes and your expenses. So it's very maybe very structured to the point that is rigid to you, right, Gemini? But because what they're saying is, it is what it is, and this is something that you cannot change, right? This is what this card is talking about. This Wheel of Fortune coming after the Judgment. Both of these cards, you know, incredibly powerful major arcana. And it's just emphasizing the message of this inevitable dimension that has its own pressures, and, you know, all of the density, all of the slow patches, or all of the obstacles, right? Or all of the work that you have to put in, all of this gathering of the elements and gathering of the materials, of the tools, and having to put in some effort is something that has its own functioning dynamic. It's almost like it works very well, because it's something that is, you know, it's almost like inventing the wheel. It's like if you're trying to reinvent the wheel, it's like, why would you have to find, you know, go, you know, to the end of the earth to repeat, to do something that has been done for centuries and millennia previously, right? It's like, do not try to reinvent or, you know, recreate the wheel. The wheel is there because it functions properly, right? It has its own intelligence. It has its own very well, I don't know, I was going to say successful, but, you know, success has like a very various perceptions, let's put it that way, but in a way that, you know, it realizes some certain thing or certain function. It is working, it is successful, right, in that sense, and it has been for very, very long. So this is part of this it is what it is scenario that this King of Pentacles is explaining and trying to demonstrate to you the value of gathering, collecting, putting in the work, putting in the time. Well, both of these are talking about time also. And it's almost like if you understand the logic of how this wheel works, it's not going to be so hard. It's almost going to feel like part of something that has its own rhythm, has its own flow, right? So you don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? You just have to use it to your favor. Does it make sense? And I feel like somehow this is talking about a process in which you collect and then you grow, right? Because this is what was being hinted at with the Seven of Pentacles. So after the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Six of Pentacles. And this is interesting because, you know, here we have this, well, to me at least as a reader, I'm seeing this movement going to the center. So it's like this gathering movement that I'm seeing here. But after you understand that this is part of a whole or of a system that works since forever, that once you are working with the wheel and not against the wheel, right? It's like you learn how to use properly the tools and the elements that you have gathered. And then here it is, like the path to go. Because so if this is indicating this movement that is like bringing all to the center, right? Collecting to bring it close to you, then the Six of Pentacles, which has nothing to do with the Six of Pentacles originally, this is talking about going, right? So expanding. So it's like a contraction and expansion, contraction and expansion. And this is what these two cards are talking about. This is the it is what it is scenario, right? Growth comes from contraction and expansion, contraction and expansion. And I feel like somehow after you understand that, because it's almost like cracking the limitations or the conditioning of this 3D plane, because, you know, we have two pentacle cards. It's like you understand that there is evolution, there is movement. It's not just gathering forever, or it's not just walking and expanding forever. It's both, and they go together. It's just like this, it's like the movement of the wheel, right? Sometimes you are at the top, sometimes you are at the bottom, sometimes you are at the sides. So it's like you're never still. It's like it's always moving. And the thing that is moving, it's because after you understand this logic or this process, you understand also that where you're going is never definite, or is never this ultimate thing that is set in stone. Because this Five of Wands that is ending this reading is talking about, well, we have the Six of Pentacles in the middle, right? So the Wheel of Fortune, Six of Pentacles, and Five of Wands. So the Wheel of Fortune, because after this card came through, the meaning of, you know, destiny that usually comes through with the Wheel of Fortune came through, right? We have the X here and the X here. Here, it's almost like it has its own programming, or it has its own movement, right? It's something that just keeps on rolling, right? It's almost like a karmic wheel in a sense. But here, this is the interesting thing. Once you collected all of the items and now you are ready to release, but release in a sense that you are no longer doing this, right? You are doing this. You are, well, it could be seen as going inward and then going outward, you know, exploring out there, out into the open. Here, this is talking about destination, but because it's the Wands suit, and Wands, you know, to me, sometimes this symbol has the image of a tree, but sometimes it comes with the usual fire element kind of symbolism. And here it feels like a blend of the two, because it's coming with a message of the organic growth of a tree, but also like the constant movement of the flame, right? So it's both, and it's talking about organic growth that is always moving, is in constant movement, that is never like like it's never a definite shape, right? It's not something that is rigid. This destination, it's an open destination in a sense, right? It's always being created. It's always something that you are, well, maybe we're talking about co-creation, right? But you have to gather the elements, and then you are the one who has to go out and explore. So because it is what it is, right? And so knowing this, I feel like you also understand that where you go is always changing, is always like expanding as you expand. So it's not something that is, you know, like this blueprint that you can never change. This is what this Five of Wands is talking about. It's that it's almost like just a potential that, depending on the elements that you have gathered and the path that you have built for yourself, right? It's like you can travel to many different destinations, right? Things that you are building as you go, right? Or that you are co-creating as you go. So this is very, very interesting. I was going to call you Scorpio, Gemini. So Gemini, I'm going to pull more cards for you. And also I'm going to pull from the astrological rooms in the extended reading. So if you want to join me there, I'll be happy to see you. If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.